As we all know, choosing your very first Pokemon as you enter Pokemon Red, Yellow, or Blue was the very most important decision of your life up until this point. Obviously, choosing anything other than Squirtle was the wrong decision, and I condone you for that, but that doesn't really matter now. We have a new choice to make in Illuvium, and I'm excited to present you all the options, give you all the facts, show you gameplay footage of what this all means, that you can make an educated decision for yourself. In Illuvium, there are now 4 drones that you can choose from. First up, we have Mozart, that you can see right here. Then we have Buck, which looks a little bit like a samurai. Hilder is very round in shape and looks kind of funny looking, but I really like it. And Chopin is basically a box, but Chopin is very, very cute. And he's the one I've been personally using, even though I would say he's the hardest to use. And so let me explain all of their abilities so that you can get a better understanding of which one might be suited to you, which one you think might be the best, and what decision you want to make. I'll also give recommendations for beginners, experts, intermediates, as we're going through all of the gameplay footage. So let's jump straight into it. First up, we have Mozart. Mozart leashes the fleeing alluvial, riding them and slowing them down for 5 seconds. He easily has the most powerful drone ability by far and allows you to easily maneuver the alluvial where you want. Don't forget, if you run to the other side of an alluvial, it will actually change direction. The slow is quite strong and you shouldn't miss any shots afterwards. It also works really, really well in most kinds of areas in the game. As you can see here, he grabbed out that little red leash, leashed the thing, and it was absolutely awesome. Next up, we've got Buck. Buck teleports to an alluvial and fires unstable energy at it, increasing the alluvial instability over 5 seconds. Remembering that instability is basically once you get it to 100%, then you're able to go in and try and capture the alluvial. This is the most beginner-friendly ability of all of them by far, although it doesn't actually do as much damage as I would have liked it to. You can essentially beat a tier 1, stage 1 alluvial without even shooting your gun. However, you can just use Buck's ability to do it all for you. It does decent damage, but it's nothing crazy. It's particularly great when the alluvial is far away from you and does extra damage while you close the distance. One of the hardest parts about alluvial hunting is having to run sometimes because you're just not close enough to the alluvial to get a good enough shot on it. But you can get Buck to shoot it while you're doing that running, flying, gliding, whatever it takes for you to get back into range of the alluvial. It's also worth noting that for higher tier and higher stages alluvial, this might be a little bit more beginner friendly because it's a lot less hands-on, but some weapon types will also allow you to get homing bullets and things like that, which will probably help you along the way. As you can see here, it does pretty decent damage, but nothing too absurd, and Mozart definitely helped you out damage it in the overall long run. Next up, we have Hilder. Hilder spawns a quantum box around an alluvial, increasing their instability and locking them in place for 3 seconds. I just don't think it's as good as the leash. It's good mostly because it deals damage as well as trapping an alluvial, and if you want something consistent, then this is really helpful. If you're not so good at shooting, you need to really line up your shot, this might be a little bit better than the leash. The other thing is that it's only 3 seconds, so make sure you avoid wasting this ability. Don't have them cast the box while your gun is currently overheating. It's also helpful in tight spaces like in Crimson Wastes. Lastly, we have Chopin. For 5 seconds, you will move faster and your gun cannot overheat at all. It is easily the hardest ability to utilize because you still need to be a really good shot to make use of it. You also need to make sure you are in a good position before activating it because it's really easy to waste the ability because you need to be shooting the entire time. Although it prevents overheating, it doesn't really improve the overall damage, which can make it feel a little bit lackluster at times. That being said, it works really well in open areas where you've got a good line of sight to the alluvial at any given time. To change your drone, you will simply just visit the character setup building in the game, which is on the other side of the forge. Also, and it is next to the leaderboard. You can change your drone at any time, and you don't need to unequip anything. I recommend changing depending on region. I would use Chopin for Abyssal Basin, Mozart or Hilder for Crimson Wastes, and Buck for Brightland Steppes. If you're into that sort of play as well, I would even consider changing every time you're switching up the region you go to, and you can even learn every single drone and get a better understanding of which one you might like to play. I hope this was helpful. I hope this helps you make the next most important decision in your life. Don't forget to register for the game so that you do not miss out any information when it comes out.